You don't remember that from the last Left 4 Dead?
I didn't realize that someone was playing it. I've only recently become aware of this.
Guess who was Yoko?
Character.
This guy.
And there's only,
You were Yoko.
There's only 2 mid-rolls, right?
Yes.
Heyo.
You ruined the surprise, Bruce.
Oh, is that a surprise? That there's less ads?
Yes.
Oh boy.
And someone in the comments will still complain. Welcome to the Inside Gaming Podcast, episode 31 for October 30th, 2014.
Did you say 31 or dirty one?
Episode
We're in the dirty 30s.
This is what
Good start,
rappers
guys.
That's a good track from Crystal Method. Adam, what's your favorite Crystal Method song?
Oh man. I guess I didn't know. Get whipping time.
Yep, it's called
Busy Child.
Get whipping time.
Get whipping time.
And it goes. Beep. Get whipping time.
do. Get Lucky. Mine's Get Lucky.
Get Lucky.
Featuring Pharrell.
That's Def Punk.
That's really
Oh,
good.
sorry, Around the World
Some said that
featuring
was the
Pharrell.
song of the summer last year.
Smack My Bitch Up.
That's probably
Chumbi Chua Go.
that's Chumbawamba.
Oh.
That was Paul
Is that-
Field.
Yeah, you got it.
Paul Oakenfield.
Yeah.
He even said it wrong.
Oakenfeld.
Okay, so if you're listening / watching to this podcast, odds are you did it because we titled it something sensual, incendiary, and...
I think it's going to be a console war.
Was it
Okay, there you
violent?
go.
Something violent?
Yeah, console war.
time for a console war.
Okay.
So we do this a lot. It's certainly no, it's no mystery that we title our videos provocatively, and this has been noticed by a few people. Mr. Denil Luzin commented on the last podcast. I'm honestly tired of those, quote, is something blah blah blah, quote, is sex in games bad, quote, is Xbox One and PS4 disappointing?
Ooh.
Those dumb titles turn me from even listening to your podcast. Like, come on, why 50% of every video IG or Machinima posts has some stupid question in the title? Try to be creative with those.
Wait, hold on. But was this a comment on the last podcast?
Yes.
So he watched it.
So he watched
He
it.
did.
Yeah.
So he clicked on it.
He did. But before you get to your rebuttals, there's
Okay.
a bit more data to go here. So Shack News has a new owner. They were bought by Gamefly and then sold off later when Gamefly realized nobody goes to websites anymore.
Is that webcam recording, by the way? Sorry, I just want to make sure.
It is.
Okay. Shack News has a new CEO, Asif Khan. Asif, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. At any rate, I did the phrase. He did an interview with Games Industry, and there's a quote in there. He has some interesting comments about the state of games media. He says, quote, our industry seems to be afraid to really speak their mind. Scared, blank check journalism appears to be the status quo. Most publications are either too close to their advertising dollars, being given a blank check from a much larger parent company with little accountability, or devolving rapidly into clickbait.
Boom.
Are we not talking about boobs this week?
No.
Damn it.
We're talking about clickbait, which titties are also a form of.
Interesting.
And then
Watch
finally,
language.
Adam got into a protracted discussion when one of our videos got picked up on the PC Master Race subreddit.
to be fair, it was just the title and thumbnail, not the actual video.
No, well, that's the case.
Yes.
And he did a masterful job defending us to the tune of several paragraphs.
Well,
Basically,
once again, to be 100% clear, I also said I'm not a fan of the clickbaity titles or thumbnails, but there is a reason why they exist.
and why is that?
Well, we program for a specific audience. The Inside Gaming channel, we program to our audience. They kind of know what to expect. Funny thumbnail, funny title, funny description. That's just what we do. Machinima's a little different. It is a channel that it's like a phoenix rising from the flames. We're trying to help it in a lot of ways. I've been at this company longer than anyone else at this point, and I've seen it go through many iterations before it was even a YouTube channel. At one point, there were uploads upwards of like 30 to 45 videos a day, because guess what? When you upload more videos, you get a lot of views, but you're only getting like 10,000 views per video. Getting a lot of views, but it looks bad. It just looks really bad. And so they kind of scaled that back, and we had to kind of like win this audience back. But the problem is, well, one of the things Bruce found out early is like this audience, especially on the Machinima channel, watches videos when you title videos a certain way. And it's not like we made it up and now people are putting their heads on going, damn it, I have to watch this video because they named it this way. It's actually kind of the opposite. We try to trick people to come back and say, look, we can get you to watch our content. And now they're going, oh, actually, some of the content you're making is pretty good. I like it. And I wish you didn't name it that. And we go, we kind of do too.
No one's ever said that.
Unfortunate, like actually the Inside
Let's
Gaming.
go on, but no one says that.
There's a few guys like Montezoom and other like
They like our stuff.
Hooded Bob. No, they like it, but they're very vocal in the sense of like, you guys should name your stuff like that. And I say yes, I hear that every day, someone saying, don't name your videos like this. And then I point to other examples and I go, here are 10 other YouTube channels that did the exact same story as us and they got a fraction of the views.
Right.
And you could argue, well, you guys are just view whoring, you're trying to get views. So we can keep making more videos, yes. And I would argue at the end of the day, we make good content and that's our priority at the end of the day. And if we have to package it in a certain way, I'm not really ashamed of that because we have really fun jobs and I want to keep these fun jobs.
So do you want to go?
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say. So when I first started with IG, I was like, holy shit, we're reporting on video games on the main Machinima channel, and there's only like 50,000 people watching. I was like, we got like 8 or 9 million subscribers. What the hell's going on? And as we sort of evolved our style, I've started using this as our motto for Inside Gaming. We take the temperature of the internet every day. We find out what the internet is mad about, and then we ask that question that usually they're mad about, which is typically like, are sex in video games bad, or is hatred too violent, or something like that. And then we answer that question in the video. Now, that is not the definition of clickbait. The definition of clickbait is a title that is totally baiting you into the video and doesn't deliver. And to me, we try and deliver on that question every single day. That's my goal, is to ask the question that the internet is asking, that we sort of take the temperature of. Obviously, we are the judges of that. We are the arbiters, so if you disagree with the way we do it, then you disagree with the way we do it. But we try and answer that question every single day. A really good example of this on television is The Daily Show. The Daily Show exaggerates. The Daily Show is funny. The Daily Show is ridiculous. But if you sort of go all the way down, if you kind of like, drill down into what they are doing, it's serious content. And they are making serious commentary on what is happening around the world. We are doing that, but with video games. And video games are even less serious. So like they're even more ridiculous and stupid. So like, don't get so upset. Don't watch the video. If you see the clickbait title and you're like, fuck their clickbait, don't watch it.
Yeah.
Don't click it.
And go ahead. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, tying into that, gaming news is so boring.
It is. It's really boring.
There's no news. There's never any news.
That's
what is it? What are we supposed to tell you?
That is a big.
What are we supposed to tell you every day?
Every time people get upset at us.
There's a new demo for Don't Starve Out.
That's a big thing, and this kind of goes back to the whole argument for journalistic ethics and stuff in gaming. It's like people send out like these giant companies that make billions of dollars send out press releases, and they're like, "Here's what you can talk about today."
Yeah.
So a lot of what you may view as like clickbait is actually us trying to create a discussion. This is the topic. Yeah. So here's something to talk about. Here's something to discuss. Here's how we might feel about a certain topic. Like that's turning it, like you were saying, turning it into entertainment. Because honestly, the material that you start with is boring.
Yeah,
and really everyone has the same story, and they have copy and pasted it ad nauseum. And we don't want to be that. We don't want to just be another place. And I've seen other outlets do this where they go, "It's easy. We just take the press release and we make it into a video."
It's really cute that we hear that like, oh, IGN doesn't have clickbait titles or Polygon, but a lot of times they'll do is they'll just say, here's a press. I'm not accusing them of reprinting the press releases specifically, but they're just taking what's in that press release and rewriting it in a different way. Whereas, and because they have so much blog space to fill, and they're looking to get page views, doesn't matter like where they come from. For us, we have one show, and we have to take all the information for the day and say what's the most. I don't know if you covered this, but like what's the most interesting thing that's going on.
Yeah. Also, we're one of the few outlets that I can see that when you just take a quick glance at the major competitors and all this, we're one of the few outlets that I can see that doesn't have an attractive woman. Not to say that they aren't informed. Not to say that
Joel's
they
an
aren't
attractive
informed
woman.
on the topics at hand, because most of the ones I know actually are, but we don't have that. Yeah, it's a bunch of ugly dudes trying to get you to stare at us.
Look at my fucking scarred face.
He's all scarred up.
Yeah, so, at the end of the day, once again, going back to what I was saying earlier, we're trying to get an audience in as many ways as possible, and in some ways it could be seen as we're tricking them, but if anything, we're just trying to make it as attractive as possible. Like, I assume the audience that's watching your stuff is pretty savvy. So if everyone's reporting on Smash Brothers that day of like, Nintendo released all this information that you can read everywhere, I imagine that's been read or they already watched it. So for me to regurgitate the same story, I feel like is just disingenuous to the audience. And we're not a pretty girl be like, guess what my thoughts are on this gaming story. Look at these.
That's too much.
Easy.
It's too much.
But that's on Twitch. That's the
but
big one.
My rebuttal to that is like, so we did a Smash Brothers story when they released all that information, and ETC
Well,
today
we
did
did
A day late, but we did do
did
it.
ours earlier.
But
before
regardless, we didn't just say, here's a lot of information. We said, well, what does this mean in the context of the game? What does this mean in the context of Nintendo as a company? And how do we feel about that? Which is what you don't get from a lot of other news sources.
I mean, more than that, I think we turned it into an entertainment. 90% of that episode is a joke.
we said we wanted Adolf Hitler.
Yeah, like
Baby Hitler.
And that's another thing. I think it helps if you go back and you look at a lot of the content and you go, this is entertainment. Like, if your entry point is, I want to be entertained by this content, you won't get so hung up on what I feel about how they're reporting the story.
I think there's a big difference. So going back to the Shaq News article, what that guy is explaining right there is that websites are dead. Like Reddit is king, Twitter is king. Any information you need will be on Facebook. It'll be on Mashable or any one of those things like an aggregate. Like going to an actual website for news, like it's just slowly dying. So you are seeing the clickbait articles of like saw a thing today saying Chris Nolan will never work on another DC movie ever again. And at the end of the article, he goes, it still has been it's still unclear what he's going to do after Interstellar. He might even do another DC movie. And it's like, you fucker, you just lied in the article to get me in. That's just a bold-faced lie. The thing that got PC Master Race upset, which is already kind of a
bald-faced lie.
Bald-faced lie or bold-faced? Is it bald-faced?
The face was lying.
I didn't say we
I
were
thought it was
smart.
bold because
Google
they
it,
make
Spool.
the font bold.
Spool, Google it.
Is it bald-face or
Google it.
bold-face? Spool?
Well, regardless, anyway, so PC Master Race, which is already kind of a parody of itself, it's like it gets posted on it like there's more cringe things on there than actual R cringe, which is always kind of interesting. But they were upset because we talked about Half-Life 3 and made like a Half-Life 3 thing and had all these like clickbait much.
Okay.
But then if you actually
Brief comma.
go ahead.
It's both because the phrase actually used to be bare-faced lie.
Whoa!
And it's split.
We
so
should
both
really
are just
Bears are liars.
We should bring
I'm
that
gonna
one
start saying
back.
barefaced live from now on.
Bring it back.
Bald-faced lie.
So those guys were upset with that. But in the video, we did talk about Half-Life, and we speculated about Half-Life. And we don't ever claim to be like the news outlet to go to. We
How
always,
dare you?
we always have a lot of like what Joel was saying. We always have a few goals to achieve in a video. It's to entertain you, to hopefully somewhat educate you, and start some kind of discussion. Like we always have. It's never just like here's the story. Bye. What do you think about it? It's like
The thing that surprised me so much about the Half-Life 3 post and everyone getting upset about that title is that title was way more accurate than a lot of our other videos are because no one knows what that game is going to be, and the moves that Valve is making and the news that is in the industry and the things that game producers are saying, that makes total sense. It's a logical conclusion you can draw from what's going on. Whereas I feel like a lot of our titles are a little bit of a stretch because there's
Like
stuff that's
killing
not going
games?
on.
Also,
Yeah.
I mean,
Xbox fucks your face.
I wish.
Modern news itself includes a lot of prognostication. It's just by nature of it, by having these people that what do you think about this person
opinion.
that I go to every single time?
Yeah.
This is what we can construct based off the things we've seen.
well, we'll usually only ask that question normally after we have given you our opinion, usually, and say, what's your actual opinion? Don't regurgitate what we said or just say a bunch of, blah, I hate Xbox, blah, blah, blah. But once again, like I can see why people were upset because, look, there was no news. There was zero news. And we saw a Reddit article or a thread where people said, do you think the next Half-Life's going to have multiplayer? And I was like, we discussed it. We took a day off.
Yeah, I was going to say, this came from a conversation we had the day before.
And we were sitting around at lunch talking about like, yeah, Half-Life, blah, blah, blah. And we're talking about it. And then we came into the office, zero news. But everyone's like, what? New Dead or Alive got announced. We're like, no one gives a fuck. Like, no one cares. And once again, we still have a view goal to hit. We have to hit certain, we have jobs. We have to do the stuff. We have an obligation to certain things, but at the end of the day, we want to make good content.
I removed myself from the view goal thing entirely.
Yeah.
The reason I say that is because when I started on Inside Gaming, again, my goal was to figure out how to get the most people to watch the show I make. Because why the hell else would I produce a show if for any other reason than people to watch it and for them to like it?
Yeah.
So for me, I'm always like, yeah, I want the most people to watch my show. Because I've worked really hard on it, and I think it's entertaining and informative. So why the fuck else would I mean, like, of course I want people to watch the goddamn show.
And it's also, well, to me, it's not like, look, we look at the numbers that the show does. It's not like we're not paying attention to it. But it's also not like I'm telling you guys, like,
No.
we want every show to hit this many
no,
views.
it's
Like,
not
that's
like-
not how we really
There
work.
were people who did do that at one time. They don't work here anymore, but that did happen.
But at the same time, I will say, it's really nice that we haven't done a show under 200,000 views since June. Like, that's something that I know that I'm really proud of us for like, we've got, because we've been able to figure out how to attract an audience that comes back again and again and again. So obviously, where is the camera? Obviously, what we're doing is kind of working because you guys keep coming back. And two, it's interesting. Like, it's interesting.
We're trying to make it interesting.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Well, no, I
that's our
mean,
goal.
back to what Bruce said. No, you can't really produce a show that no one watches because then you can't produce the show anymore.
You all get fired.
And and it's not so much that we're like, we got to make a lot of views. It's like what like Bruce always said. He wanted to make the show that everyone watched. And as far as at least as far as I know, we have the #1 viewed gaming news show in the world. I don't know if anyone can fight those numbers, but like in terms of
Gaming.
who?
Nihao Gaming.
What's Nihao Gaming?
It's a Chinese. It's basically all of us, but
the Chinese Inside Gaming?
It's Chinese Inside. It's Nihao Gaming.
But I mean, that's never like a thing where we're like, look at us, we're the biggest fucking. It's like, no, we're just trying to make a good show. And if a lot of people are watching it, good. The thing that always confused me, where I'd see other channels or other similar shows do the same thing and not see any growth, and then continue to do the same thing. I'm like, that Far Cry 3, that's madness,
Insanity,
or insanity, whatever the hell. Skyrim was stupid. But what I'm saying is like
He's upset.
I'm not upset. I'm just saying a lot of words.
Ooh, settle down.
I just went to IGN's channel to like dip a toe in the water.
Yeah.
I had to scroll 2 pages to find a daily gaming show because they uploaded so many videos today.
And that said, we like what IGN does. Like,
Yeah.
we like the people over there. We like, and honestly, I would like to see them branch out more and do more opinion stuff and do like, because we like those guys, and I want to see them sort of become their personalities rather than just, like you said, recite a press release. Sometimes they have to do that. I get it.
Yeah, it's just that format. It's like, get the girl, put her in front of the green screen, put the TV or whatever to the right of her. Like, that's been around since the feed. It was probably done before that. Like,
Oh, it was absolutely done before that.
yeah, I'm just saying it's a template that's existed for so long
Entertainment
that
Tonight.
and Bruce and I looked at that and we're just like,
Video power.
we're like, everyone does the same
was a dude,
thing.
though.
How can
Johnny
we
Power.
how can we stand out a little bit?
Yeah, how can we stand out a little bit? And what we've been doing is the last year and a half or so,
It's been an evolution.
and we have been evolving.
Of course.
We've been and honestly, it's funny. I think people are complaining about it now because I think earlier on titles were way more clickbait than they are now.
Well, I mean, it's also hard because we're coming out of the summer. I mean, the news is slowly ramping up now, but August through October is just the dead cycle.
The worst.
It's the dead zone for gaming news, and there's nothing going on. And so, of course, we're going to have a lot of Xbox, PS4 news cycling.
I'd like to add just a little side note right here. We are not against criticism of our product
of course not.
in
Yeah. Of course
any
not.
way.
We're just telling
this
you
is
why.
this is an example of how open we are to it. So, I mean, don't call us assholes all the time like you normally do. But like, but I'm saying is like a comment like this isn't necessarily a bad comment. We don't hate the person who commented it. We don't hate the person who posted it on PC Master Race. We understand, but please, I guess what I'm asking is please understand that these problems that you may have, these things that you may see, are things that we most likely have already discussed 500 times and come down on the side of this is the way we have to do it, or this is the way we've chosen to do it for a purpose that is greater than maybe you possibly see at this point in time.
And we're really lucky that I think our audience it feels comfortable giving us respectful, I think, good feedback. A lot of other, I think, shows or channels get really flamed by their own audience sometimes, and I really like the dialogue that we can have, especially like through stuff like the podcast and the QA about this kind of stuff.
Of course, and like I said, I even said there it's written in words. You can take screenshots and send it back to me or whatever the hell. I've said time and time again, like, I'm not a fan of it. Like, I'm not a fan of doing the clickbaity stuff, and I'm like, actually, what I love about the Inside Gaming channel is like we can just have fun. We just kind of do whatever, and we're like, people are coming back. Like, we have a dedicated audience, and I like that.
Cheerleader, steam roulette.
But that makes me laugh.
In our defense, she was horny.
No, she was definitely.
I'm not sure if she was
Yeah.
a cheerleader. It's unclear. She wasn't wearing any. She was in a locker room.
Actually, so like one of the comments I saw in the Master Racing, they said, whoever does the titles and thumbnails has been getting real lazy lately. And that the only thing that kind of bugged me
I was
about
like,
that.
fuck you, because I'm the one that does the titles.
Well, then someone's like, it's Adam Kovic does all the titles and thumbnails. I'm like, oh god, no. because Bruce slaves over the computer for about an hour and a half, coming up,
asking people what I want a title.
Coming up with a title, coming up with a good description, Google trending what words look like better. Like today it was like, hey, what do you think people are going to notice first? GameSpot or GameStop or Walmart? If you put in the title, which one will their eye go to first? Like, we curate it to like the T, literally the T. Yeah. It's fucking insane the amount of work we do just for a title and a thumbnail. Like, I go through sometimes 2 or 3 revisions of the thumbnails I make. Like, you can be critical, that's fine. But to call anything that we do lazy, it is not.
Yeah, that's a real bummer.
We actually put way more work into that than we probably should be doing.
The laziest person
but
on our team?
It's important to us.
Sean Poole, definitely.
Hey!
He's actually.
I'm working right now.
I know, we're joking. It's kidding.
You guys are just talking.
I don't think it's up yet, but Sean Poole cut part
Sherlock.
2 of Sherlock,
Yeah.
and it is
That's great.
fantastic.
Yeah,
It's really good.
It's a work of art.
Yeah, there was no one on this team who is lazy.
No, nobody's lazy in this team.
Other than Spool.
Other than Spole.
So that was the only thing that I took offense
I cry
to.
at home at night.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
You
what does
stream,
this have
you
to do
dick.
with it?
But to James's point, we like criticism. Like, we take it. Like,
Well,
I think it.
well, I'm open to.
I'm sorry.
And don't hate people that criticize.
We appreciate the criticism
So
because
if you
it
have any
keeps us in
criticism for
check.
Inside Gaming,
Nope.
go to
No, please.
twitter.com/@justrigs.
No,
Oh, there you go.
please no.
Yeah, that's some guy who looks like James. Anyway,
Well, you guys hit a natural stopping point because it's time for an advertisement.
Yay! I love
did it.
advertisements.
That's perfect.
Congratulations, everybody. And congratulations to ye lucky few who have won money betting on sports through FanDuel.com. Woo! If you're unfamiliar, FanDuel.com is a week-to-week fantasy sports league where you can put in some money, join a group with 6 people or up to tens of thousands, and pick your lineup. Just do some open world stuff.
Okay.
Don't get any achievements.
And pick your lineup, and then based on how those players perform, you can win real money. Definitely get achievements, though. We tried it out ourselves. It was extremely easy to use. I lost about $5, so I am endlessly bitter. Stephen Gutowski,
No, you're not. You want to play again?
I will collect in flesh what you have taken from me.
Did you win money?
No, I did not win. I think I ended up getting like 2nd or 3rd because the guy that keeps inviting us is hustling us. At this
Yeah,
point.
he's
Yeah, so, I mean, like, he's really good at it.
he's very knowledgeable
Guys,
about
I needed my
sports.
lunch.
And I know a whole lot about the Final Fantasy series, which doesn't benefit me much in fantasy football, sadly.
Not at all.
But FanDuel, if you ever figure that out, I will be your most loyal customer for life. I'm saying that I'm not already.
Could you imagine playing Final Fantasy football? Even if it was just Blitzball, I think I'd do better.
Oh, I do way better. I got Waka's Ultimate, man.
Go Aurochs!
Well,
Any-
FanDuel, in my opinion, is one of the easiest ways to play fantasy football, and that was reflected in the way you guys did it, because you were like, "Hey, this is really easy," and you guys had never done it before.
Adam and I, we lost, but Adam and I did.
But you can at least play.
Immediately, we were like, okay, we're in. All right, yep, okay. I'm just gonna pick these guys,
Yeah.
and it's just click.
Really simple.
I guess it says it's okay. I guess they're actual players.
I mean, like I said, you lost, but at least you knew what you were doing.
We were playing fantasy football, and I think I got a couple baseball guys on my team, but I don't know. Whatever,
That's
still it
impossible.
worked.
I don't think that's impossible.
So just go to FanDuel.com, and we actually have a special code for you guys. If you click on the microphone in the upper right-hand corner of the website and put in the code GAMER, that will enable a deposit match of up to $200. It's kind of specialty funds. You can't just put in $200 and take your $400 and go home. You have to kind of win that money through playing the game, but if you're good at it, it shouldn't take you any amount of time. And even if you're not good at it, it's a good motivator to get better at it. So that's
meet some online friends.
Yeah, you can meet online
Or
friends.
enemies.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Or make enemies and that make you want to cut out their vital organs and resell them to recoup the money that they took from you. So go to FanDuel.com. That's FanDuel.com. Use the code GAMER, GAMER, and put $5 on your sports. Makes it more exciting. Gives you more of a reason to yell incoherently.
It absolutely does.
During a sports
It
match,
does.
and that's just fun to do.
Also, for those of you who don't care at all about sports, like myself, it makes sports a lot more interesting because it feels like it's a game.
Absolutely.
It feels like you're setting up like a team, for an RPG to go out and like do a battle.
You get attached.
You need your squad.
You
and
get
stuff.
attached, yeah.
Like
Especially if you're from Los Angeles like me and don't have a team to root for during football season.
Shut up, Spool.
So one
Yeah.
last time, that's FanDuel.com, FanDuel.com, and use the code GAMER to show your support for Inside Gaming. Thank you, FanDuel.
Thanks, FanDuel.
Hey,
Thank you.
for enabling us to talk about YouTube titles for 20 minutes.
Now we're going to talk about even more clickbaity shit.
Oh shit.
Yeah, we are.
The reason
they
why
too
you
large?
came to this video.
Console war.
And here's the other fun part. We intentionally put this in the podcast so we can title it a certain way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Ha
Fool you.
No, we didn't fool anybody. We're going to
No,
talk
we
about
fooled
it.
them.
We're
actually
going to talk about it for 20 minutes.
It's a long con.
Look, when I saw that fucking story that you guys, because I was gone, when I saw the story you guys did about the price drop for the Xbox One bundles, I almost lost my shit. I was like, holy, they're $350 for an Xbox One with a game. They're
Well,
losing so much money on those systems.
it's $50 off every bundle. The bundles are more than $350.
Oh,
You
okay.
can just get the system now.
It's just every SKU has been slashed by $50. So
okay.
the
Oh, I
$400
get it.
one is now
Oh.
$350.
It's the other way,
The
too.
450s are now
I was
$400.
in that news story.
Whoops.
So which one should I buy?
So okay, so how much is
much is it,
your
like-
average bundle?
Yeah, like the Titanfall
like
bundle.
or the Unity bundle. Somebody said it was gonna buy
Oh
it.
yeah, the Assassin's Creed unit. Let me look that up real quick. So just as another note, it doesn't go into effect until November 3rd.
Right.
So those prices are not live right now.
Yeah, and this is also the U.S. right? It's different in other territories.
I'm not sure.
It's like $10,000 in
I'm
Australia
pretty sure
or
I saw
something.
someone from Australia tweet like it's still 8 million
8 million?
Yeah.
Gee.
And I know we get a lot of shit for that because we're on the internet and it's a worldwide show.
Yeah.
But forgive our bias for being from America and only covering stories from the perspective of it being American. That's just kind of
The
our.
majority of our audience.
I was gonna
I mean,
say,
we
yeah.
love you guys. We love especially
Yeah.
the
Oh, damn.
Australians
Especially, well, the UK too.
and the
Yeah.
UK.
Listen,
Okay, so
UK is
the-
my favorite place because after we visited and we saw the turnout for the fan meetup, UK is my new favorite place.
Yeah, it really is.
The Unity bundle, which
Step it
includes
up, Boston.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed 4 and Unity, is actually $350 on Amazon.
Really?
Really?
Yeah, it says this item will be released on November 2nd, but that's insane.
mean,
So
like,
that's two
so-
games and an Xbox One for $350.
2 games?
Yeah, it's Unity and
That's
Black Flag.
Really
I
insane.
should just be buying these for like Christmas
Is
gifts.
there a sunset? Yeah.
There is a Sunset Overdrive bundle.
Not for you.
Oh.
It's kind of a specialty bundle though. It's a white Xbox One. Right now it's listed at $480.
Okay.
So theoretically it would be $430
Alright.
once the price cut
Man,
kicks in.
I'm
That might change though
insanity.
because
Think about that.
I heard a rumor
Yes, we should get it.
that they are going to do a Master Chief bundle.
that would make sense.
That would
get
make a
that,
lot of
Adam?
sense. No, I bought the Xbox One when it came out because
But
I have no bias.
So this discussion in general kind of points to something I wanted to bring up, which is Microsoft is trying so hard.
Good.
Yeah.
Just all the
Love
bundles, the price cuts,
trying to figure
just changing their messaging. Since launch, Microsoft has been, in my opinion, Microsoft has been just phenomenally active in, kind of like we do, taking a temperature of the internet, listening to what consumers want, and trying as realistically as they can to give that to them. By the way, that weapon has an overcharged 2-liter on the end of it.
So I have to hold it down? Is that what I
No,
have
no,
to
no. When you shoot it, it makes a puddle of overcharge, and that attracts all the OD to the area. So that's why you're getting swarmed right now.
do? Oh, sorry.
At any rate,
Well,
I said it
what
again.
Microsoft looks like right now is where Sony was post PS3 with a lot of this. We are so sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
We did not. We did something really dumb.
You're so sorry.
We are so sorry. It didn't
Make it
work.
up to you, baby.
And yeah, exactly. We're gonna make a console. It's gonna be the cheaper one. It's gonna have it. Everything's so good now, baby.
It's all
Like
about
it's so
gaming.
good. Yeah. And it's like, thank you for messaging that. And then it was so weird. And we've said this time and time again. When it was first announced, we're like, Microsoft's like really up their own ass right now with this whole like, oh yeah, you're gonna fucking love football. You're gonna love football, and we're like, what the hell happened? You guys were the leader. Like, they I'm using air quotes here. They won the console war last year because I think technically they had the most sales. But
Xbox?
it was by like a hair. Like it wasn't.
PS3 was.
Well, no.
way
Well,
more.
we won that form of the Special Olympics. I mean, selling the most consoles doesn't mean you win anything because that actually means you lost the most money.
Well,
In some weird way, unless you got the price down somehow on the rebranded models.
Oh, I take that back.
What? Xbox sold?
Well, according to VG charts, they were basically dead even. But the
That's
Wii,
what I mean.
The Wii won.
Well,
Really.
yeah, that's what I mean though. But
the dumb part of it.
it sold the least amount of software.
Well, don't hold your hand up.
So I know a PC won.
then more PCs were sold.
You
Yeah, no shit.
you can't lose a fight if you don't participate in it. That's what I'm saying. So Microsoft was kind of like, look, we won, but it's like, sure. You made a huge dent in Sony's
Market share.
yeah. And it's like they did a good job, and then they just like they had the ball and they fumbled and they got hit by a car and. The car backed up over them, and then an airplane fell on top of that. Like, it was just like, who the hell are these people? They totally lost all perspective.
I mean, they did. Like you said, they did what Sony did.
Yep.
After PlayStation 2, Sony was like, we know what's up. Like, we're the kings
Yeah.
of console.
You're gonna
And
want a
then
Blu-ray
they were
player, it's
you're gonna want this and
$700.
that and the other thing. It's just, I mean, it's just how
Hubris.
the advancement of technology. It's hubris and it's the advancement of technology because you're like, we have so much money that we can invest this money into turning it into something bigger.
Right.
People want more, not realizing that what made you all that money was making something that people like a simple tool that did. People want a wedge or a lever or a hammer. They don't always want giant power tool with a million parts. You know.
It turns out people like to not spend a lot of money, and they like to be entertained.
Yeah.
It turns out people are kind of simple, really, when it comes down to it. Not
messaging
to insult
works.
the simple people out there. I'm a simple person. I like pretty games that shoot things good or fun. I always say that. I like fun things.
The strange thing for me is I'm very interested in these cheaper Xboxes, but I wasn't one of the people screaming Sony won at the end of all of the console announcements. I wasn't like Sony did it. They beat Xbox because I was like they're figuring out a way to create more of a Steam-like digital storefront.
Right, which is what we're all into.
If what I know about Steam, like I remember when Steam started and people weren't crazy about it, until it kind of hit its groove, and then they were like, holy shit, when things are digital, you can just do whatever the fuck you want. You can charge $3 for a game that came out 2 days ago. And people will buy 100 times more than they would have at full price. Like different crazy wacky things that you can get away with. And I don't know that Microsoft would have necessarily done that, but the prospect of having another option was kind of appealing to me. And I don't think we'll ever see that again, not in this console lifetime.
Going back to that E3 announcement, though, I remember when they announced the price, and seeing a room full of journalists scream like a bunch of children was like just so cringy and embarrassing. But like
Games journalism.
well, there's that's what I mean. There's like just such this weird divide of like you guys need to be more cynical and careful about this sort of stuff. But everyone gets sucked into the hype. But like we're usually kind of just in the middle. Like we're kind of like, oh, that game looks cool, that looks fun. But we're never like, yeah, Sony, oh my god. I remember being at X-Play or I wasn't working on X-Play, but I worked next to them at G4, and they announced the Wii.
Janitor.
And what?
No, you're the janitor.
Practically. But I remember someone from X-Play pretty much flipped their keyboard over after they announced the name of the Wii. Because it wasn't called the Revolution like everyone thought it was going to
Kyle flip.
I'm not naming names. I just remember someone flipping out and they lost. It's over. Everything's fucking over. The Wii, that's piss. That's what you do. It's piss. And I remember going, well, I mean, it's meant to be like worldwide, and I can kind of see the appeal. I was like, no, Nintendo's fucking done. They're over. And they sell the most consoles out of everybody.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, it's usually best to kind of not
temper your responses.
Exactly, and don't cheer for a goddamn company. It's like watch an Apple
Making
press event.
consumer products,
They're
yeah.
depressing.
Yeah, the Apple press events.
I mean, I guess any.
Speaking of depressing press events, I'm going to BlizzCon next weekend.
boy.
Oh man,
Yeah.
we've
Hey,
added more runes.
They might announce Legacy. I'd be
We've
excited.
done it.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Well, so that kind of wraps up our grand retrospective with the Inside Gaming crew. But what I'm curious about is, what did you guys think at the announcement of this generation that ended up being true or ended up not being true? What has surprised you in the last year?
What do you mean, like from the new, like what the new consoles could do that the last ones couldn't?
I got
just
one.
initial impressions that you were like, that's cool, and it ended up being cool or ended up not being cool at all.
So the PS4 announcements throughout the year, like almost had me convinced that the exclusives would be better on the PS4. And I was like, wow, like PS4 is like not only are they cheaper and probably the better system, but they're like the games are way better. And I was like, holy shit, like they've got everything. And as the year developed, Xbox was like releasing more and more games. And I was like, all right, well, I want to play that, and I actually want to play that too. And I was like, Sunset Overdrive, that's fun. I want to play that. And the more I realized, Xbox has the better exclusives. They have the better games right now. And a lot of people will disagree with me, other than like discounting the Wii U.
Yeah.
Let's say it's just Xbox and PS4 right now. I think the Xbox probably has the better games.
I've always
Sorry.
I've always found it strange for anyone to align themselves in any sort of way. Like I'm only going to play PlayStation games. Like, but Sunset Overdrive looks kind of fun, and Master Chief Collection. Like, and I've never understood the people who said like, "Fuck Halo, it's all about Killzone." Like, really, you're going to compare those two?
Yeah,
like,
no, there isn't.
I mean,
like
To be
they're
fair,
both
Killzone
good
was made
games, but they're
specifically to target Halo.
sure, but they play so differently.
But they do, you're right.
Yeah, I mean, it's like Dota and League of Legends are the same game. I just pissed off 85 people by saying that,
Yeah.
but that's the same kind of comparison where I've heard where it's just like my whole thing has always been like, just don't limit your entertainment. Like,
Well, I mean, some people financially have to limit.
They
it.
have to, yeah.
which I totally
You're
understand.
lucky enough to consider the possibility of buying $350 Xbox One.
I understand that, but here's the other thing
Do
too.
you?
Yes, because I grew up either getting all my consoles taken away from me because my grades are so bad, or sneaking over to a friend's house, or borrowing stuff. Like, I was the guy who bought Devil May Cry for PS2 without owning a PS2. Because my friend had it, and I wanted to play it so badly.
I bought Rock Band for an Xbox 360. Did not own an Xbox 360.
Nice.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I've been there and I've done it, and I am, believe me, I wake up every day with a huge smile on my face because I'm like, I get to go in office with an Xbox and Xbox 360 and a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 3 and a PC at my desk. Like, I'm very happy with that. And I have a 3DS in my backpack. Like, and then I go home and I have the same setup. Like, that makes me very happy. I'm way more fortunate than a lot of people out there, but I'm just saying, like, there was a time where, you know, I had a Super Nintendo that I got for Christmas and my mom took it away from me. It was a very sad
Maybe
day.
get your grades up.
Adam was not a smart kid, still is not a smart kid,
Oh,
but he enjoys video games.
that's not
He
true.
tries
He's a
hard.
smart adult.
I'm just saying,
You're a
there's
man now.
there's always a way. I would spend hours at Best Buy just playing the freaking PlayStation demo
I did
or
that
whatever.
too. I did that too.
Yeah.
I did that with Halo.
I almost
First
pissed-
Halo came
I always
out.
walked past those kids and thought to myself, I can't imagine liking video games so much that I want to hang out at a Best Buy all
You don't get
day.
it.
I did that too because I
played
couldn't.
Star Fox.
Yeah, I couldn't own. I didn't have enough money for an Xbox, so I had to play Halo at Software Etc. or whatever it was.
With the big Duke controller too.
Oh, I love that.
I hated that
So
controller.
much fun.
But I would go in there with like a full bladder, and I'd be so excited that, you know, like when you get a new toy and you're like you're practically gonna piss yourself in the car. I'd be standing playing a game with my leg shaking because I had to piss so bad. It's pretty bad. It's
Just
pretty.
gotta let a little squirt out. Just take the edge off.
That's the problem. You let a little out, it all comes. You can't do that.
I can't let a little
control that
squirt
beat.
out.
I can't
I
let
can.
it.
You need to piss all your piss your
That's what I mean.
No, you can piss in your pants.
I did that once. I tried holding it in line at Knott's Berry Farm. Ended up pissing myself in line. I was like 10, but I after that day I'm like never again. And then when I played I did football spring training in high school. I pissed myself because I was just so tired.
I'm surprised you had enough hydration.
No, they made us drink a lot of water.
It was
'cause we
like
lived-
3 days
well,
ago.
Yeah.
I really had to go to the bathroom. I pissed
it's
myself.
like, but I was like, 29 at the time.
I was like 18 or no, not 18. No, I must have been like 15 or 16, much younger, something like that. I remember I lived in like a desert,
older.
a deserty. I don't know how old I am now.
When I first started playing video games.
Either way, we had a big
my
mountain they
pants.
made us run up, and my legs just went dead. And I got back, and they're like, "Now run more laps." And I started running. I just pissed myself.
Yeah.
So anyway, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are both good.
Lawrence, I'm actually interested to hear what you have to say about this. Like, what's something that surprises you about this consoles generation?
There's a lot of stuff. Let's see here. One of the main things is, I think, kind of like you, Bruce. When they did the initial console announcements and both companies kind of put their deck on the table, I was like, well, okay, I guess I'm going to be playing most of my games on PS4 this time around. And I was ready for that. I bought my PS4, pre-ordered it on Amazon, but after I spent some time with it and spent some time with the Xbox One, I oddly end up just gravitating towards the Xbox One.
Wow.
And a big reason for that is the controller. I think
I love this controller.
I think the design of the controller is just phenomenal.
See, that's the thing. When I first tried them, I was like, I much prefer the Xbox One controller. And I think part of that was just because I had played most of the last games on the 360, and
That
this
might
felt
be it,
more
yeah.
similar. But now, I don't know.
The PS4 controller, playing Destiny with that feels so good.
Yeah.
And I've played it on both. I have it on both systems, and I don't know, man. Like, Destiny just feels so good.
Well, we just need to enjoy the fact that we have two really solid
Yeah.
controllers as
Yeah,
opposed to
that's
this
true.
is the broken one.
True. I never liked the PS3
PS3
controller.
was not good.
Well, I didn't like it that they were trying to force first-person shooters on it. I was like, this
Yeah.
doesn't really work for. I didn't like the triggers. I
yeah,
didn't
the
like a
L2
lot
and
of
R2 were
it.
curved. Like they were bad for racing games and bad for shooters because your fingers would squirt off. Of them.
I will say that just being just normal day-to-day use rather than like, look at all these features that you could possibly use and no one ever gives a shit about. The two examples, the PlayStation 4 having the headphone jack in the controller is goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
The fact that you don't need to buy like a separate adapter to have wireless headphones,
Yeah.
pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
And like I've used that countless times. And then I've been playing a game. I can't say which game. It's under review embargo right now. But I was playing it on. I've been playing Lords of the Fallen. I was playing on Xbox One.
It rhymes with chawl out. Tor.
It actually does the one thing that they advertised that it would do is the instant startup. So I'll turn the Xbox off.
Yeah.
I'll get back. The game will immediately just go back to where I left off. Not that I have to like reload the game or anything. It's like where I paused. I'm like, fuck yes. This is like what PC has had for years, and like it's finally. And I know PlayStation 4 is supposed to eventually do that, but like anytime I want to play a game on PS4, it's like I got to reload it, got to boot it up. Like it's a little bit slower in that regard. So just like day-to-day use, those are the only really two things I've noticed. Other than that, yeah, there's just both kind of pretty consoles.
Yeah.
Pieces of plastic, hooray!
One of the big things about both consoles that kind of gets on my nerves is that they're both approaching PC and the functionality and the technicality of them, but they both make very weird decisions about the data they intentionally obscure from you. So, for instance, say you're downloading a game, they don't show you the bitrate that you're downloading at, or the speed or anything like that. You just have to stare at the bar and like watch it go up slowly. It's like being on dial-up again. Not that knowing the speed would change anything, but it's still like the system has to know it. Just show it. There's no reason not to. And then other stuff like some games support playing.
Show it. If you know it, you show it.
If you know it, you show it.
Some games support playing on like a partial installation, but
Yeah, that was actually really freaking cool.
it's cool, but it's very spottily supported.
No, exactly. Well,
Some
we were
games will
just
just dump you
experiencing
to
that
them.
with Sunset Overdrive.
Exactly.
It's like 35% installed, ready to play, and then it just goes loading. Like, a game. Once again, I can't say the name of it or anything like that, but I was playing a game. It
Call out Tor.
was Tor. It was actually one where it got like partway through and it was like ready to play. It's like, oh, holy shit, this actually works. Like, it is a huge game. It's a huge download, and I was wondering how they were going to deal with that. Steam doesn't really do that.
No.
Where you can do a partial download. Like if I want to play,
Blizzard is basically the only developer that did that a long time ago with some of the World of Warcraft expansions. You can start playing them early.
Oh,
League
interesting.
does that too.
Oh yeah, League, yeah.
Joel, what about you?
Joel's such a League
Who won the
apologist.
console war, Joel, for 2014?
I tell you what I'm most surprised by, I guess, is the continued vitriol.
Yeah, right?
I mean,
yeah.
like, not that I didn't expect fanboyism to die away, but for God's sake, like,
You're a peace fanboy.
even I am even in episodes where we're not talking about consoles at all.
Yeah, people still come in
still
there.
talk about it, and
Yeah.
it's the console's been out for how long now? 9 months?
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah, almost a year.
Or, oh yeah, I guess
almost a
11
year.
months.
Yeah, basically
11
a year.
months. God, I thought it was like September for some
Yeah,
reason.
yeah, yeah.
But yeah, almost a year. And every video, for some reason, people are still yelling about it.
Well, that's because we do a lot of videos pitting them against
We
each
do
other.
stuff-
Even the ones where we're not we don't talk
Yeah,
about
they
it.
still get upset.
It's the thing I see a lot of people still getting upset about is like the resolution thing and like resolution gate and all these things and well, there's no gate.
Everything's a gate.
I don't know.
Gate.
And you have every right
this a good
to
idea?
if someone
Brown.
if a company full on lied to you and said, yeah, all our games are 1080p, blah blah, and like it's not, then okay, then you were duped and you were lied to. But like the sad truth of it all is like the average consumer does not notice,
Or X.
and that this might all go down as a vocal minority thing where people are like, you get more power out of the PlayStation. It's like you're probably not going to be able to notice the difference really. I haven't really been able to notice, and I have both consoles. I'm not apologizing for either one. I'm just kind of like
Fanboy.
I'm just used to consoles being underpowered. That's how it's always been.
Yeah.
I didn't boot up Fallout or
X on the rail.
Skyrim on Xbox and be like, this is gonna be just as good as PC. I was like, I wasn't expecting that.
Here
I don't
we
know.
go. You've wrestled him.
Oh wait, I need to go this way.
Oh, Spool was shifting, but I guess he's.
Well, I mean, like Bruce said,
Easy.
temper your expectations. Like when you play something, I mean, like what is it? James was saying we were watching the Witcher trailer, and it's like this beautiful world and all this stuff. And James like, I'm gonna be the cynic who's like, and then I got to go like collect 15 Boretas
Yeah, it's
or
like
whatever.
showing him, he's like touching the soil, and then he flashes to the scene of a woman,
Yeah.
and then this crow flies through a guy's eye, and I'm like, well, what in the game? That's just going to be go to this marker on your map, arrive there, and then it's going to tell you to go to the next marker
Right,
on the
yeah.
map.
Right.
It's not going to be that.
It's a video game.
It's a video game. Yes.
Yeah.
Lawrence, for the next mid-roll, should we do that one?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Exactly time for that.
Yeah.
Oh, you're doing it.
Speaking of
Overdriving.
games that are invariably less impressive than the image they maybe present, that's not going in the air test, by the way.
There's people.
We are sponsored by WWE 2K15. The next generation of video games has arrived with WWE 2K15.
I can tell you what, we're gonna play this on our channel.
Yeah, we are.
For
Damn
damn sure.
straight.
For the longest time, I was like, guys,
I know.
wrestling games,
I know.
untapped.
After last time, I'm not going to go into detail. You can find the video for yourself. But we had a blast.
We did.
Oh my god, that's harder than you've, I think, laughed in any video.
Oh yeah.
I believe it got posted on Contagious Laughter.
That's great. That's great. Sorry, go ahead.
Oddly, the thing I'm looking forward to with WWE 2K15 is the impact it'll have on video game championship wrestling. One of the best Twitch channels you probably don't know about.
That channel is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh.
Basically, this guy Baza, he recreates video game characters and then pits AI versus AI in wrestling title card matches. And then the series also has a feature where you can script your own like dramas, off stage
WWE
dramas.
universe.
Exactly.
Oh, nice.
So he's got this convoluted plot about
So good.
about who killed Luigi. Actually, that was season 3. We're
I was gonna
past
say
that
it's
now.
like Gumby. Someone stole
Jump-
Gumby's
jump
wife
speed.
or whatever, which is pretty amazing that you can do that in a wrestling game.
What I love more than anything, and this is getting a little off topic, but in past seasons of VGCW, the only thing he had to work with was somebody getting hit by a car, because that was like one of the 3
yeah.
templates.
Yeah.
So every show, somebody would get hit by a car.
Which honestly, not too far from actual WWE.
It ends up being life imitating
That
art.
guy's really big.
Can I go swimming? Like way.
But
go ahead.
WWE 2K15 features top superstars from today and in the past, including John Cena, Brock Lesnar, The Rock, and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Wait, the list keeps going. Daniel Bryan, Roman Reigns, Bray Wyatt, and many more.
James knows who all these guys are.
No, I don't.
You know who Bray Wyatt is?
Brock Lesnar?
The modern names I don't know as much, but I know everyone up to Daniel Bryan.
So WWE 2K15 from 2K, so real you'll feel it.
I better feel
Which
it.
doesn't sound like a good thing for video game, but WWE
Go to school
2K15
covered in bruises.
it's available now for
2K15
for PS3 and
It's
Xbox
so
360,
cool.
and it'll be available on November 18th for PS4 and Xbox One.
Go to the girl.
Thank you for your sponsorship, WWE.
Thanks,
2K15.
WWE.
Thank you,
Don't do
WWE.
any check.
Thank you
If
very
you
much.
want to play a probably super buggy mess with your friends, this is also not going in the air test.
It's not
Look
gonna be
into it.
super buggy.
No, they're all built. They're all built a certain way. They're
It's-
generally not buggy. They're just built a certain way, and it's to accommodate basically anything happening in the ring.
I just hope there's a ladder.
Well, there will be a lot.
Damn
Several
well better.
ladders,
We get to
probably.
do ladder in that new HD graphics.
I love
Well,
it. I can't
they
wait.
were HD before, but
Oh yeah, that's true.
I'm excited.
So there, picked out some comments from the last podcast. If you'll recall, we were talking about hatred, the representation and role of violence in games, whether or not it affects people. We got some interesting comments there. Let's see here. Oh, and we also talked a little bit about Gamergate, so there was a huge uproar over that.
Why don't you care more?
I can imagine.
That was a large portion of the comments. Like, I'm mad you're not talking about it more, even though.
I'll talk about it. I'd be happy to talk about it at the
let's
office.
not. Let's not.
talk about it.
Let's not.
We don't have enough time.
I know, we're not gonna.
We got no time, Joel. Let's see here. Let me pick out a good one here. So Lambiantan, this is somebody that's actually been quoted previously, but he or she brings up an interesting point. Said, my mother is so religious. Now I'm an atheist adult, and even today, my mother don't want to hear me saying bad words in any language when I'm in her presence because it's bad and God hate it. I'm assuming English is a second language type thing. When I was just a little boy, my mother always taught me to not to say bad words. During that time of my life, I had the most rude vocabulary in the classroom. The extreme morality of my mother overwhelmed me. Sometimes the prohibited calls the curiosity. So parents need to think what and why to ban things more carefully, because banning everything that seems bad isn't the way to educate a child. I'm assuming the point is basically you can't selectively screen people from
Right.
things, and you can't remove something from existing just because you don't agree with it.
No, you can't.
Yeah, you got to beat it out of them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's it. No, don't take that.
Don't.
advice.
That was a
Don't
joke.
do that. Please don't.
I used to get hit by a belt.
unless
by
they
the way.
deserve it.
Nope, don't do that. Please don't.
Chris Coast 123 writes, hatred seems a little much for my tastes. You can love it and that's cool, but if you enjoy killing innocent civilians, then you're fucked in the head. If you love shooting random AI constructs because it's fun, then that's fine. I have the problem of humanizing NPCs in video games, so even in GTA, I find it difficult to go on killing sprees in the actual game. However, rampages are still fun.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is we've mentioned this before. Some guy was I I believe someone on Twitter was getting into me saying, this is a game that's forcing you to kill people. I'm like, well, no game is ever forcing you to do anything.
Yep.
That's actually one of the things what I like about games is, and one of the things we do and kind of pride ourselves on, is we usually play games the way we want to, or the way I want to, and which is usually wrong. And they're more enjoyable that way for me. I like going off the beaten path and doing things that the developer did not intend for me to do. So with Hatred, it'd be kind of funny to do like a pacifist mode. It'd be kind of funny to see how long you could survive without getting killed by people.
Can we at least address the issue that no one knows what this game is?
Yeah, right?
Remember what we were talking about, The Witcher?
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, that trailer is not what the game will be. It won't look that way. It'll look different. And
there was some
it won't
gameplay
play
in the
that way.
trailer.
But, so we don't know what the game will be. We don't know if you'll be killing innocent civilians or if it's going to show that scene and then he's going to wake up in bed and it's going to be a game where you're trying to solve your own murder. I don't know. Like, it's...
No, I think
I think
you work at a kid's like clothing store or something like that, and the rest of it is just like
it's
Hot Topic.
it's
raising
basically
puppies.
the Kim Kardashian game, but with longer, darker hair.
I'd play that.
But yeah, so like, I mean, to presume what this game is seems
Presumptuous.
Presumptuous.
well, yes, but it's also just a waste of mental effort at this point in time.
I got my Super Nintendo taken away.
That sucks. Natos 8 kind of presents an interesting, almost like psychedelic sci-fi point.
No.
He or she writes, everything you do and think of affects the mass consciousness of the world. So watching violent movies and playing violent games adds to the negativity of the world. I play games and I'm perfectly aware of that. A world of spiritually enlightened people wouldn't have any desire to play violent games. If a human child was brought up in that civilization, they wouldn't either. If one of the spiritually enlightened people visited Earth, they wouldn't have any desire to engage in the negativity that we consider normal. They would actually help other people with their own personal evolution.
Presumptuous. Aliens would just murder us. I've seen Independence Day.
What about confronting your natural human inclinations in an effort to control them?
Control the fear.
Well, yeah, I mean,
You have to dig deep within and root them out of yourself.
Human beings are programmed with certain sort of innate things, instinctual.
We're animals.
I mean, we are, as much as we don't like to think of it, we are biological animals, and so maybe being able to make a piece of content that visually represents something that we feel is so abhorrent might be a evolutionary tactic.
Yeah, it might be a good outlet for what might otherwise be an actual physical impulse.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I want to watch or play all these games, watch these movies or play these games, but I will say I'm glad that they exist.
That's the exact rationale that people use to play
I'm
sex
awful.
games.
Adam, I was better than this.
I know
it was infinitely better than this.
I'm sorry.
Well, something that I just wanted to add that I thought was interesting was the Duck Dynasty videos. A lot of people were upset by the mass killing of the animals.
Yep.
Even though these are the same people that in their own comments were admitting that you don't have to jump.
Sorry. I've never played this fucking game. Get off my back.
Neither have I.
I need to murder somebody.
But a lot of people were more uncomfortable by animals being killed than all the people that we run down in any given GTA game.
That is always the case.
And it's interesting, and I think part of it is because you don't always see animal. Like, even though you are probably, any human being is, I would say, 100 times more likely to kill an animal at some point in their life, directly kill an animal in their life, than kill another human being. Probably a larger amount than that. I don't know. I really don't know. But it's interesting because that's what made people feel uncomfortable.
That's very interesting. No, it's I mean, game designers have known that for a long time, and narrative designers, the death of a dog is far more effective than the death of a human being in a narrative, and that's why there's so many dogs.
That's why I Am Legend was such a touching movie.
Spoiler.
Let's look at fan art.
You've only had 25 years.
Here, I can do it, Adam.
Oh my God.
So
Oh boy.
I need to learn how to play Sunset Overdrive because my
I can't
skills right now are
look it up.
embarrassing.
Yeah, they are.
Shut up!
Are we pulling this over onto the screen?
No.
No?
We're just
Reddit
looking.
user Angel Drew everyone's favorite.
Is that Elmer Fudd?
Elmer Munn.
Close.
You know, my favorite thing about this is when I saw it on, I can't remember if it's Twitter or Reddit, is the detail of putting a little pocket fabric
look at
coming
that.
out from the bottom of the shorts.
Yeah, nice.
Just like real Daisy Dukes.
That looks good.
Also, if you get
Joel's
real
a fellow
close on her
artist.
boob there, you can see she has the puffiest areolas you've ever seen.
Yeah, just the way I like them, puffy.
Not really.
Puffy.
No.
I think they're
No, they're
cancerous.
real puffy.
Yeah, I don't want to. No. She didn't need any. We didn't need any more reasons for me to not want to have sex with Munt. But
Yep.
And then,
number one reason, by the way, is how lacking in features Sims 4 is. That's my biggest turnoff for Munt.
if she looked like that, it might help.
This picture of me with band-aids is
Yeah,
great.
Reddit user Big Box Meal
Real
drew a
cute.
really cute Bruce with bandages all over his face.
Which, by the way, you can. There's a video out now on
Yeah, you
the.
can see AFK.
Yeah, you can see how
How it happened.
how it
there's
happened.
a
It really
Yeah,
doesn't
so
look that bad.
anticlimactic
Yeah, it doesn't look
in
that
that
bad
video.
at all.
No.
Don't watch.
Well,
full videos.
everyone's like, why does he have band-aids? Because it was like a sunburn almost, right?
Boy, did it fucking hurt. It was a rug burn.
It was like a rug burn,
Yeah,
so
it
you
was.
had to keep it moisturized.
It hurt a lot.
And so Bruce was wearing band-aids to keep it moisturized.
And a lot of goo.
Ew.
Reddit
Well,
user
my goo.
Kobe182 made a badge of Spool shouting, "Oh my god!"
This is my new my new favorite meme. This
You
is
know,
my new favorite meme.
my favorite thing about this image is he put his own watermark on it.
I know.
No one steals it and passes it off as their own.
I was going to mention that, but it kind of does the
I
talking
love
on its
this.
Oh, this is so good.
I love this.
own. Yeah, the awesomely named Jack Axefist drew the guests all smashed into one. Oh man.
Oh, we used that on our thumbnail.
Yeah, made it into a thumbnail.
I colorized
Yeah.
it and made a thumbnail out of
Also, I
it.
love that he spelled Afghanistan wrong. That's my favorite.
I also love how big your crotch is.
oh
yeah,
so
look at
big.
Well, it has to accommodate 3 doms.
Yeah. He did his research.
And I'm not talking about Vietnamese dollars.
Hello.
I'm talking about penises.
I know, we get it.
Oh.
Reddit user Jack in Box drew the Robo Squirrel.
No, hold on. I gotta clarify in the comments. Did we ever make this joke?
I don't think.
Did we? No.
Never
I
won.
don't think
Nope.
we ever did.
I'm not sure where this came from, but I'm glad that
I
Jack in
thought
Box.
there was-
Maybe
Is
he
it a
thinks.
squirrel or is it a beaver? It looks like a beaver to
Oh, it's a
me.
beaver. You're right. I'm
Beaver.
sorry.
Okay.
It's all the beavers we killed.
Yeah, I
in
thought
Duck
I
Dynasty.
thought we made some sort of offhanded comment about it. I
Like
thought
that-
someone
like,
tweeted
to
after we
repair
finished the live
them.
stream something.
And make them into
Make
robots.
them stronger. I don't know.
remember.
Maybe he
doing it.
thinks we're a different YouTube channel.
This is a problem with us. A lot of people tweet us things, and we're like,
I don't
"We
remember that."
No, did we say that?
Did we make that joke?
That's
Did you
gonna
just
happen
go back
again
and Watch
later.
a video from 8 months ago.
I'm gonna have to ask you guys about a particular fan art we'll get to later because I have no idea what it's referencing.
Okay.
JC1593 do the Danger Squad.
Yeah, that's good. A lot better than the Danger Squad graphic I made.
What is it? Yeah, what do the titles say on the bottom there?
Guesting, cunt Billy in questions, posting as I'm a Reddit user. If you're still reading, fuck you. I'm going to copy some shit about the QA show from the IG wiki. Now, see, here it goes.
Jeez.
The QA is where, and then it just copies from.
Well,
Very meta.
at least he did it.
Good job.
Beautiful Lawrence.
Yeah, Panagokin
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
did another great illustration.
Beautiful Lawrence.
So beautiful.
This is the
killing it.
yeah, the same girl did the Pika Kovic and
Yeah, she got
man,
all this- Stubble,
also,
too?
all of us in bikinis.
I don't care
Yeah.
about bikinis.
She
I
nailed
care
it.
about Pikachu
You
Kovic.
don't care about bikinis?
Not when it's Pika Kovic
Oh,
on the
yeah.
line.
There's
forgot
so
about
much
this.
good art this week.
See, he did this originally, but it wasn't colored in, and then he colored
And
it
he colored it in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So good.
Joel's the Titan.
Dacion.
I don't know why I'm the Titan, but I love it.
I like that James is the least active out of all of us.
I'm
Even
observing the situation. I'm not gonna rush in there. That's a colossal titan. Are you
got the
crazy?
dragon-
yeah, you're also
shield.
like really close to it.
Yeah,
Oh, and
you-
Adam's got his awesome face paint on.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Bruce is just naked.
I'm absolutely naked. That's
Well, do
great.
you see the little fart coming out?
Well, of course
you
I
don't
do.
have to. You don't have to refill
Oh, Spool's
the
back there.
CO2.
I didn't see him
CO2
before.
cans.
Yeah, Spool's on his
Spool's
shoulder.
oh my godding in the back.
And he's yeah, he's oh my god.
Ah!
Exactly, he's oh my god.
So good.
So
and then
good.
Stacion also did this other one,
Wow.
Yeah.
which features my favorite incarnation of Machinima Man.
That's
Oh,
really
he's
good.
pretty badass.
He's got
Holy
those,
shit.
he's got those two knives forming another M on his chest.
What about Ragnaspool in the back?
Yeah, he's in like a hyperbaric marijuana chamber.
I like that your hair is also swords.
Oh yeah.
Oh wow,
Look at
yeah.
that.
And your what's her face?
Pick him off.
Hatsune Miku, right?
It's on
I'm a Miku robot.
And I'm a
Why does wait?
Phoenix Rider.
Why does Bruce have a K on his chest?
No, that's you.
That's you.
Bruce is
You're
Namor.
Kovic.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm stupid.
I'm the one that's shirtless.
I'm half playing Sunset
Bruce needs to
Overdrive.
be a
Forgive my
little bit
ignorance.
hairier.
Oh, and you got
Oh,
a little,
absolutely. A little bit.
hairier.
Adam,
I-
you got,
I-
a,
Maybe a
little,
smidge.
you got
I
an
look when-
electrified Pikachu punch.
No, I know. I should have looked at the Batman face too. I'm an idiot. Oh my god, that is.
Oh, and you have
me.
Totoro shoulders.
Oh my god.
Oh wow, look at that.
There's a lot going on
There's too
there.
much
There-
freaking
there's
detail in
these,
this.
These things are layered. If you could send us the image,
Oh my gosh.
and then a second image pointing
What
out all the
happened to
different
that
details.
one there?
that'd be great.
Jeez.
Also, forgive my ignorance for getting Bruce and I mixed up. We're both white people and we look
With
the same.
beards.
Look at
Well, my beard's a little less now.
It's skinnier.
God, that machine.
What happened to this one?
At some point, this is gonna hang in a museum.
Spooliangelo?
Postmodernism.
Some sort of modernist art.
I don't even know what shirt that is.
I love that. It's not who I am underneath.
There's another image
what
where
I
I'm
do
like actually a green
defines
turtle
me.
that I'm doing that pose in, and I think they took that
Oh.
image
And then
metal
fell
layered
asleep
down.
and drew it. Is that what happened?
The reference was bad.
And then yeah, Chris
Oh my
Young,
God.
1023, drew the best Adam Kovic I think I've seen. It reminds me of the ambiguously gay duo. a little bit.
Yeah.
You mean Adam Kovic in general?
Yeah.
The
Look at your neck tendons. They're
Ooh,
just
yeah. Wow, those are nice.
Well, that could just be part of the cowl.
Popping out.
It's only
it's
the back cowl.
spray paint.
It's only the back.
It's not a cowl. Like his head
Yeah,
is
it's not
exposed.
really a cowl. It's just the ears.
Yeah,
he's
but
just
he
got
could be
ears.
wearing it here, and then it just goes up the back since he already has the face paint to conceal his identity.
Conceal his identity.
All right.
Clark Caribou sent us a
Coots Road.
a picture
Wow.
of Kuntz Road.
I don't know if you guys know this, but right down the street there's Kuntz Hardware.
I
I
saw
have seen
that.
that. Yeah.
And I haven't taken a picture and tweeted it
Yeah,
to our own Inside Gaming account.
I've absolutely seen
because
it. Yep.
Like that's how I bike home. I go by that place every night. And every night I'm like, ugh.
If I always know that none of our fans hang out on that street because we would have already received a picture.
God, yes, we would have. H Hafiz tweeted us a picture of you guys going to town on a beaver.
Yeah. So what are we doing
You're
there?
eating his intestines.
Yeah.
that what we're doing?
Oh.
Oh boy. I
I
can't
don't know
wait.
what you think that spoon's gonna do there, Bruce.
Wait.
You scoop out the guts.
Yeah, that's what you do.
You know?
Man, that beaver's good.
Listen,
eating
Beaver
now,
boy.
huh?
You don't even have to cook them. That's a good thing about beavers.
Oh yeah, this
Pre-cooked.
So that's Lawrence, right?
That's what he
Badass.
said.
He
Lawrence.
tweeted Lawrence.
Yeah, Kunal Tech Art said
You
this
sure
was
that's
fan
not
art of
Bruce?
me,
No, he said it's Lawrence.
He said it was Lawrence.
but I don't know what that is.
It looks a lot like Bruce.
It does.
What it is.
Small black box or whatever.
Once again, look, we're all white people. We all look the same. I
He
apologize.
may have been working on a different piece,
Yeah.
and then
just threw IG on the shoulder and was like,
and
oh,
then
we're done.
decided that maybe it suited Lawrence tonally.
Maybe he
Oh.
sent to Bruce before and he ignored it, and now he's just
He's like, this is
"Oh,
Lawrence."
it's Lawrence now. He's just trying to get any one of our attention.
I could see. It kind of reminds me of Blade Runner, like the dude who worked in the cryogenics lab and was wearing
Yeah.
that giant poofy coat.
Yeah.
But I don't know what this glowy thing on the back is.
Is this the reference you were confused about?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, I have no
Something
idea.
you guys could share.
I always assume it's an anime.
Is it
It's-
James is the Green Ranger. This next one. Right?
yeah,
Yeah,
this one's
it's
awesome.
glorious.
Holy shit.
Of course, I'm the green.
He's all
I
battle
don't know.
damaged.
I don't care
Of
or
fucking
no.
course I'm the
I
Green
don't
Is the
know
Green
or
Ranger the
care.
best Ranger?
What?
Is the Green Ranger the best Ranger?
Oh yes, absolutely.
What about the White Ranger?
No, he's better than White.
Also, you
Ranger.
got like a little
Because
cable.
the White
going.
Ranger has no edge. The Green Ranger has a tinge of evil in him, and that's what makes him an interesting character.
Who's the Black Ranger? I thought wouldn't Black be bad, evil?
No,
He's just a black guy.
he's just a black guy.
He is. They made the Black Ranger a black guy.
How do you know?
Where were
this? It's
you?
like a joke.
Between
Yellow
ages
Ranger,
of
right?
10 and 12.
I'm
And
older
the yellow,
than everybody
the
in this room
Asian one
except
was
for
also
Bruce.
the
Yellow
Yellow
Ranger.
Ranger.
Did you want
The
to?
lesbian was a Pink Ranger.
I know the Asian one was yellow, but
Lesbian.
that's original Ranger, and the Black Ranger was not an original.
Okay.
Yes, he
wait.
was.
Shut up.
Either way, the fan art's awesome. We love it.
He was missing
I
one of
wish
his
that could be
fingers.
my Halloween costume. I don't think I'm gonna have one this year, but that's what I want it to be.
Fucking awesome.
Finally, acronym CLT drew
What the hell?
It's Deus Ex art style.
Kovic,
Wow.
Kovic
love it.
Revolution.
Did you see my comment in the subreddit?
Adam Kubik.
Did you see what I wrote?
Ah.
I said I didn't ask for this, but I love it. Get it? It's
Yeah.
a Deus Ex joke.
I do.
Oh,
Didn't play much of that game.
from that one
You didn't?
line.
It was a great game.
Didn't
People
play
keep
much.
quoting for some
I
reason.
got bored of it real quick.
All right. Is there anything else? Is there any other housekeeping we need to do?
No, that's it.
Housekeeping.
I mean,
This is not.
I was hoping we
House-
could get to Adam's finger spacing story, but I think
No,
we're out of time.
it's much too late. I have to
Yeah,
go get
yeah.
some dinner with my
It's
dad.
pretty
It's
late.
after 7 o'clock.
This is
Sorry,
starting
guys.
to become like one of those things that we just.
we'll get the finger spacing.
It's
next
not
time.
that important of a joke. That's
It's gonna be real
or
great,
that's
guys.
much of a story.
Once you hear this
It's gonna be
finger
great.
spacing story,
Guys.
you're gonna fall out of your chair.
I'm
You're
honestly.
gonna fall out of your chairs. You're
I
gonna
am
laugh.
honestly upset that I have not been able to tell this because it's
Adam
not that big of a deal.
assures me it's gonna be the funniest thing
You're
you've
not-
ever
What are
seen.
they
You're
gonna do
not.
when they hear it?
You're not
They're
missing
gonna go
much.
ha ha, and they're gonna slide out of their chair.
Really dumb.
guys
Remember when Lawrence quietly asked that Adam not proceed with the story and just fuck around in the world, and then Adam went to the story.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was at the girl, and he was like, "Oh, don't do that."
Joel,
and then
Joel even asked
the
about
one
it too.
thing that I could do in the fucking game.
Okay, all right.
Here.
Podcast over.
I'll abandon the
But
mission.
do you have an in
No,
thing?
no.
Nope.
Yeah, you do the end song.
It's
the
the
podcast
end of the podcast. We had lots of fun.
We
We'll
clickbaited
miss-
the title for PS4 and Xbox One.
One.
It's time to go.
Right.
And cut.
Guys,
Hashtag clickbait.
please don't.
just end it right as we're just muttering loud.
I wish you'd take this more seriously.
You can do it in a video game.
So why all of a sudden are we looking at this and being like, this is the one that's going to make people blow up schools?
Right.
I can only think of one game we weren't allowed to play. First of all, playing video games growing up was always very hard because I was always getting bad grades. So my mom was always like, you're getting bad grades as you play video games. I'm like, no, it's fine.
To us because we're being very flippant about the issue. I mean, there are like people being harassed is not okay, and that's not a
Of course
matter.
not. Again, this is like my guy. This is like my example of the guy wearing a no Nazis patch on his jacket.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you hate Nazis. Like
Her being covered in oil in the bed.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh no, that was a total reference. I get that, but like they introduced the woman in Quantum of Solace. What's her name?
She doesn't even have a name.
Gemma Arterton.
The thing that bugged me about her character, is even more of a tangent, is like when you first meet her, she's like wearing an overcoat, but she's not wearing anything under it, so it's like she's sexual but repressed.
Yeah.
Bond has to unlock her femininity with this awesome
But
spotlight.
then it goes.